Well, thanks for visiting us this morning at KTALnews.com, as well as your Weather Authority app. I'm meteorologist Josh Marces, and this is your Monday morning forecast update. Not exactly the way we wanted to jump into a new week here, as we do have the threat of some strong to severe thunderstorms, and that will mainly be late this afternoon through tonight. So our window here probably about 5 to 6 p.m. This evening until maybe 2 or 3 in the morning tomorrow. So it's a pretty extended window, especially through the overnight, that we could see some strong to severe storms. I think the main threat here will likely be with some large hail, especially once those storms start to get going this afternoon. And then as we head into the overnight, this will transition more into a wind threat. Can't rule out maybe a few tornadoes here as well, but wind and hail will be the higher threats for us. And you can see that level 2, the slight risk, meaning scattered severe weather likely. That slight risk does take up much of the Arklatex here. And I wouldn't be surprised at some point today if the Storm Prediction Center, if they gain confidence in just how this is going to play out, we could see a level 3, maybe an enhanced risk here, especially across some of our counties in East Texas, as the hail threat will be pretty high with some of the storms that are able to get going kind of earlier in that severe weather window. So again, for the daylight hours today, it's going to be pretty quiet. Our next disturbance here is moving out of the Rockies. So again, you can see some of the rain moving out of Colorado here. That's the disturbance that will be moving in once we get closer to sunset and bringing that severe weather threat. I think one of the things that may help today, we'll have a lot of cloud cover, so if we can keep a lid on the temperatures here, it may help us out somewhat as your highs today, mid to upper 60s. Of course, if we had temperatures today, let's say in the mid 70s, we would have a higher threat for severe weather, but I'm hoping the clouds can kind of hold on and just kind of keep those temperatures down. Again, to keep the temperatures cool, can keep a lid on the severe weather threat a bit, so that's what we're all kind of cheering for today. Area of low pressure, it's kind of hard to see on the previous satellite I showed you, but when we look at the upper level wind map here, you can see that low, which is basically going to dip down into the Arklatex later today. Once that gets here, it will bring more of the ingredients for those strong to severe storms into our lives here. So we'll go through time on Robbins Toyota Futurecast. Very well could see some rain between now and about 4 p.m. today. These will just be spotty showers. There will not be any kind of severe weather threat through, I would say, 4 or 5 this afternoon. But once we get to that 5 to 6 p.m. window, you can see these storms that initially fire up here. And notice it's kind of 2 lines of storms. We've got one that moves in closer to sunset, and then another which will be moving through during the overnight hours. And it would be these storms here that would initially have that threat for some very large hail. We're talking golf ball size or larger with some of the hailstones out there. And again, if we can see these storms, these discrete thunderstorms, so you get the main line of storms back here, and the storms that pop up out ahead of that main line, they don't have to compete for some of the ingredients for severe weather. So these are typically the storms where we see that risk for very large hail as well as tornadoes. So we have to watch those discrete storms later tonight. And then once we get deeper into the overnight, you can see this will mainly be a wind threat for us, but we could see maybe a few brief spin-up tornadoes as well. So we are showing the line of severe storms moving out at 2 or 3 in the morning tomorrow, and we do have some wraparound rainfall that will kind of impact us through the day on Tuesday. So just a good day to review your severe weather safety plan with your family. If there is a tornado warning that's issued later on this evening and tonight, know where to go. Typically that would be the lowest level of your building. Get into an interior room. The idea is just to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible to protect yourself from flying debris. So just kind of go over with your family where you go if there is some severe weather warnings that are issued for your neighborhood. And to look at the rainfall, we'll get a decent amount of rain through here, about 1 to 2 inches of rain tonight as well as tomorrow. Things will kind of quiet down for us middle of the week, as we'll have a couple of pleasant days here Wednesday, Thursday. Late Thursday into Friday, we have one more front that will move through, so it looks like some rain, especially early Friday morning. Does not look to be any severe weather with that front, but we'll keep you updated. And weekend looks great. We'll be dry this weekend and should have comfortable highs in the 70s.